There is a relationship for you that comes without confusion. There's a relationship for you that comes without question. And there's a relationship for you that comes without hesitation. I remember being in relationships and not being the version of myself that I wanted to be to the person that I was in relationship with. On my end, it felt like wanting to love somebody, but for some reason my mind loved them more than my actions could ever. I wanted to say I love you all the time, but for some reason it just wasn't coming out of my mouth. I wanted to be physically affectionate, but for some reason my body would not allow me to be physically affectionate with that person. One day what I realized was, as much as I loved that person, I probably did not like that person. So loving them allowed me to stay in a relationship because I wanted to protect their feelings. But the lack of liking that person affected the way that I showed up in that relationship toward that person. On the flip side, this person or these people dealt with a version of me that didn't feel good for them. They were giving their all in this relationship, but receiving very little in return. They had both a great love and a great like for me and acted on said feelings, but did not see those feelings coming back to them in return. They felt and experienced the weight of what it feels like to be the person that's always giving and giving and giving and giving and giving, but never receiving in return. It was an unbalanced relationship where, depending on how you looked at the receiving or the giving of the relationship, they were either on the top or they were either on the bottom. Eventually, I came to an understanding that I loved me too much and I loved them too much for either one of us to experience a relationship that we had to question. There were actual moments where in my mind I thought, you were beautiful, but for some reason out of my mouth I could not articulate those things. Imagine one of the very small things that she wanted to hear from the man that she loved was that she was beautiful. And the smallest of effort that it took for me to give that thing was one of the very things that it was most hard for me to give. And it wasn't because I didn't think she was fine. It wasn't because I didn't think she was beautiful. It was because the lack of liking the relationship spoke to the lack of value that I wanted to give in that relationship. And so many of us find ourselves in relationships where we are one of those people, either the one who struggles to give or the one who's not receiving at all. And the hard truth is that we have a decision to make that may affect this relationship. It is not by mistake that this video just landed on your timeline. It is not an accident that you just clicked on this video. This is your call to make a decision, whether you're going to stay in this relationship or whether you're going to not stay in this relationship. You are either the person who needs to make a decision that you're going to change how you show up in this relationship to this girl or to this boy, or you're the person who says, I don't like the way that they're treating me, I'm going to make it known, or I don't like the way they're treating me and I'm not going to stay here any longer. So for me, I ended up making the decision to leave that relationship. But this is what I learned on my exit. It was not that she needed me to tell her that she was beautiful. It was not that she lacked the confidence, nor was she confused on whether she was beautiful or not. What she really needed was the acknowledgement that I saw her. That whether she had a full face of makeup on or whether she was out in a messy bun and sweatpants, I saw the beauty in her. She needed the reassurance from me that I saw the beauty in her. And depending on the person that you're in a relationship with and depending on the person you are, you're either waiting for them to tell you that you look good, you're waiting for them to tell you that they love you, you're waiting for them to tell you that they appreciate you. And it is not solely because you need validation from them, but it is the reassurance that you need for them to acknowledge that they see you. And so I don't have any answers to give on what you should do either way. I just want to serve as an announcement to you to make a decision on what you're going to do with this relationship. Whether you're getting enough to stay or whether you're getting enough to push you away. Whether you're able to give enough to stay or whether you need to make some changes to what you're doing. Because without question, you are worthy of love, you are worth being loved, and you are worth the attention that you desire. And on both ends, you are responsible for what your future children will see in your relationship moving forward. They will either see two people who are madly in love with each other, or they'll see two people who are just dealing with what they have. And so it's a hard decision. I know very well. But what I'll tell you is either decision that you make will be worth it for you in the end.